Let me quickly ask you a question. If someone has lived their life across 3 different industries, are they one person or are they 3 different?
I wanted to go beyond that.
Yeah.
I was never a CA. On 23rd of March, I put down my papers from the IT industry, which
Correct.
I worked earlier.
And that's when COVID was.
24th was a lockdown.
Oh my.
Some people say,
Okay.
it's a concept called helium hand. So somebody asks for a volunteer, my hand goes up automatically. Whether
like
I
all
want
the
it or
helium.
not. I
like
know it
how-
or not.
Yeah.
It suddenly moves up. Learn a lesson from it and
Yeah.
never repeat that mistake in your life.
Okay.
And that has, has
been
got into me, and
through you.
after that I never failed in any kind of exam. Whenever I address CAs, we should start smiling. We always have a serious phase. As a CA, we are, stamped as a serious phase. Without mentors, if you are able to do 1x, with mentors you will do 10x.
Hello everyone and welcome to Coffee with CA with me, your host Geena Bharwani. Let me quickly ask you a question. If someone has lived their life across 3 different industries, are they one person or are they 3 different? That's exactly who we are going to be interviewing today, CA M N Pai. He has lived his life across the agricultural industry, being a CFO in the tech industry, as well as being a Toastmaster across different boards. So let's get started as we deep dive into his journey and join me along this episode. Hello, sir, and welcome to the show. I am going to dive right into your journey and draw 2 parallels over here.
Sure.
One being you started off as a dynamic, agriculturalist.
Okay.
As a CA in a dynamic agriculture's field of the cashew industry. And secondly, you went into the IT. And that's 2 different sectors completely. What is something which is common that drew you to both of them?
It's basically the knowledge what I got during my CA, looking things differently.
Right.
Anything. It can be on finance or taxation or the IT or the agriculture. Because basically agriculture is done in India in a different way, in a crude way, I would say. Because nobody looks at what is the end result of agriculture. They go on doing, and the result, whatever comes, they accept.
Yeah.
But when I took up this as part of my profession or my journey in the job with the cashew group, what I looked at is looked at more of what is the kind of effort going in, what are the returns you are getting out of it. So how can you maximize that returns? That is what was one of the major things what I used from my CA background into agriculture. To get into that, because I trained myself as a trainer in organic agriculture.
Correct.
And there is something called biodynamic agriculture, which is a little about you can call it as post-graduation in agriculture, which was started by one Rudolf Steiner because of his lectures in Germany. That thing flowed into the agriculture sector, where you get something called Demeter certification, and the products are a little niche market. It's very small market, but it's a niche market across the globe, basically in Europe. So that training gave me a better perspective into looking at the agriculture side also. When the agriculture journey started, we started working with a smallholder project in Goa and Maharashtra in 1995 end.
Correct.
And we started with about 180 farmers, a group of 180 farmers, and implemented that. Those days, it was quite simple. Simple in the sense the requirement of the audit, inspections, everything was simple. Then as the project grew, the market required more, audits and inspections happening, the certifications happening. And there, it grew from 180 to about 7,000 farmers. And it's about 26, 27 years now. The project is still running by somebody else, and it's all systematized. Maybe going to the rural areas, meeting people and training them. Basically, I was physically carrying laptops and things and going training to each and every village and make them into groups and train them. What is the requirement of certification? That was one of the things I learned from them also, because I took from the agriculture side what I can learn also. So that helped me in the agriculture part. Why I moved to IT? It's a long story, because one of my friends was running an IT industry in Bangalore. And they were short of a finance guy, and he said, why can't you come and join us? But I took about 6 months to say no to him. Then after another 3 months, I thought, why not I try? Because I've done about 25 years in cashew industry. So why not shift? It was a major shift for me because manufacturing and sitting in front of a laptop for 8 hours.
It's different.
It's totally a different way of life. But of course, it helped me to be connected with the international kind of transactions, because though there was international there with the product, here it was with the service. It was totally a different thing, because this company was in about 40 countries, the customers are 40 countries, and 3 offices abroad. And I took up this as a challenge, and of course, whatever knowledge I had, I could use it there also.
That's nice, sir. So I like the way how you went, you were open to that switch.
Yes.
And
6 months.
6 months of not knowing what to do, but then, eventually you were open to that switch.
Correct.
I'd like to ask you, it was not necessary for you as a chartered accountant to sit down and go in depth into learning about the biodynamic agriculture and getting trained in that field, right? Why did you want to do that?
Because basically it's a customer requirement. That is one. But I had interest in it because I wanted to learn something new, something different. Because most of the CAs sit in office, look at the finance, balance sheet, P&L, profitability, all taxation and everything. So I wanted to go beyond that. I was never a CA. Even today, if you ask me some technical questions, I may not be able to answer you because I'm not getting into, using
but you're
them.
An all-rounder, and that's more important.
So that was, I wanted to learn something new, do something differently. So that was what pulled me into that. And I liked being there with the farmers, and the group there which was running actually told me, Mr. Pai, you should stand for an election in our area, you will win. Because I knew most of the people, and they're all, I would say poor people, and they're not very educated. Very, what shall I say, humble guys, very nice guys. And that was there. And more of a relationship. It took a little time to get connected, of course. But once you connected, they could recognize you, identify you, talk to you, interact with you. And of course, the language was also a challenge initially. But it's a Goa and Maharashtra, Konkani is a language which is normally used by these communities. And my mother tongue is also Konkani, but it's a different type of Konkani, because the dialects change, the words and all change. But I learned that, and that connected me more with them.
That's nice. That's nice, sir. So, coming back to your CA journey, what was that first thought process in your mind that you were like, okay, this is a field for me which I want to go into, I want to venture into, because every teenager has that ambition and that dream. So, walk me through that aspect of your life.
Before getting into CA, maybe I will get into my +2.
Yes, please, for sure.
That was one of the turning points, I would say. After my SSLC or 10th standard, whatever you call, my friends joined science stream. So I just followed like a herd mentality, at that time. And when the friends are there, you follow them and go with them. I was a little mischievous during those days, because you came out of the school and the whole world is in front of you, and you think you can do a lot of things. But I think I took a wrong turn there at that time. I lost 1 year in science. I would take back one step backwards towards the +1 day, or maybe after 10th standard, what I did. Like my friends followed to science, I followed them and joined science, and I lost a year there. Then I was confused, what do I do? At that time, my father told me one thing, you failed once, so learn a lesson from it and never repeat that mistake in your life. And that has has got into me, and after that I never failed in any kind of exam, because I took my education very seriously. Of course, CA is a different story that I'll come to you later. Then I shifted to commerce stream, then did my +2. At that time, my principal, K. Ganesh Chennai, is also no more with a firm called Ganesh and Sudhir in Bangalore. It's about 55 years old firm now. They were clients for my father's business. They were my consultants for my father's business. So I got connected with him. And from my first PUC or +1 vacation, I went to their offices for internship. And I earned 200 rupees as my salary on that day. But that is where I kind of connected. And my father also wanted me to do CA, though he did not say that in those words.
Push you to
Yes, because those days, they were not like these young, the present parents like us, you should do this, you should do that. That was not forced upon the students, but they used to tell us, you do it. And that, I think, that internship brought me into CA track. So after that, every year of my vacation I spent in that office.
Correct.
And that is how, after my degree, I joined the same firm, waited for about 6 months. They didn't have the vacancy, but I waited for about 6 months to get into the same firm. And that's the turning point in my life to get into CA track. CA track, yes, because I knew the people, knew the office very well. I was...
So you were familiar with
what's happening in the CA office. Articleship was not really something new for me. It was more of a documentation, but I was doing most of the work by that time.
Correct.
And being that, with that experience, I could do a lot of things in the CA office during my articleship also, because these days it's very difficult to get into maybe litigation part, drafting appeals and all sorts of things. But I started doing that. Of course, there was a cost. You sit till 12, 1 o'clock in the night, with the boss, drafting things, preparing documents or paper books and other things. That gave me a lot of practical side of CA. As a result, I went behind in my examinations. I could not clear my inter examination that easily. I took about, I think, 6 attempts to complete my inter examination.
But that's every CA.
Yes. But the thing is, these days the students give up maybe after 3-4 attempts because they get bored or they think this is not my cup of tea. But I think if you keep that perseverance running, I think you will definitely get the results in the future. But at that time, after I passed my inter, I said, okay, I have to finish my examination, and packed my bag and came to Chennai for my classes for final at the institute, Nangambakam office. Yeah.
That's nice.
And that was about 6 months I stayed in Chennai, stayed in a hostel kind of a place.
Situation,
and getting up for attending classes at 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., running around Chennai traffic on the bus, city bus. I used to go to T Nagar to one class specifically. I want to say that maybe about 150-200 square feet of room in a house of the teacher. We used to sit, about 60-70 of us.
Oh my God!
Sit on a wooden stool. You keep the paper, the book on your lap and write and work out the problems. Operation research was the subject. He was an expert. I would like to name him Mr. P.R. Vittal. He was an expert in that topic. And if somebody wants to get up, all the people have to get up, then only you can go out. That is a kind of congested classroom. But it was worth attending that. And that was very worth attending. And on the other side, I attended a private class of T.N. Manoharan, one of the greatest CAs. He is my teacher as well as a mentor. His classes were a class, with an air-conditioned room, and all the facility. There was a washroom, well maintained. So all those things. I saw two different things in one, maybe 6 months of my life.
So after you completed your CA, you decided that, you wanted to go into the manufacturing industry, and that was your first option.
That was not the first option, I would say, because at that time practice opportunities were very, very less in Mangalore city, because I was not able to go out of Mangalore because I was one son and my sister was living in US by that time.
Correct.
And I had to be with my parents. It was not a commitment, but it was my own commitment that I should stay with them. That time, this opportunity came because my principal's uncle was the person who was owning that organization, the cashew industry, and they had it in Mangalore and Maharashtra, 2 places. So the offer came, and I was also not very sure whether to go there or not. Once I said no, then again, I went back and took it up, and that was one of the good decisions I took, because that is one industry where everything was disciplined, more organized, more systematic.
Correct.
And that is where I learned a lot from them. Both of them.
Did you ever feel in that moment saying that, oh, I'm a chartered accountant, why should I go into the agricultural industry?
Not really, because basically it's a cashew industry, it's a manufacturing industry, but it was more of a, backward integration, getting into from that. I never thought that, because I was always open for learning new things.
Yeah, widening your horizon.
Widening horizon basically. And I want to do some, as I said, I want to do something different from what the chartered accountant can do. And of course, the basics, the foundation of chartered accountants gave me a different way of looking at things.
Correct. Yeah. So you also are a Toastmaster yourself.
Yes.
Right. How did you come across that? Because it is so important that people learn to communicate, people understand, the importance of it. So walk me through that aspect of your life.
Yeah. In 1995, I joined Rotary. Rotary is an organization. So I joined one of the clubs there, and maybe within a couple of years, 98, 99, they asked me to be the president, because there was a person who was supposed to be the president. And he said, I'm not able to because of his personal, professional commitments. He had to move out of Bangalore. Then I got the opportunity. I stepped in. And there's a process of installation of office bearers, There's a process, there's a chief guest, and you're supposed to give an acceptance speech as the president. I was not having a clue of how to speak in front of an audience.
Like you were stumped.
Yes. During my college days, I never opted to go on stage. Very rarely, maybe one or two occasions where maybe small things I did, but never had an opportunity to speak or deliver a speech. So I asked one of my mentors, a lady who was an expert in writing speeches. I asked her, can you write one speech for me? And she wrote me a page. I took it up, put it on the podium, read the whole thing, word by word, from top to bottom. So at that time I said, I thought to myself, it is one of the things I should learn. And at that moment onwards, I thought I should get into Toastmasters. There also I took 2 years, to get in, because I learned my schooling in vernacular, the Kannada medium, whatever. And most of the times the speeches happen in English. So English was, though I was okay, but internally I was thinking I'm not that okay. The people may start, we always have that, people will, pass comment, judge you or something like that. But Toastmasters is a different platform where they give you a criticism, but it is a constructive criticism. That I learned. So I joined that organization in 2002. So from about 99 to 2002, so about 2-3 years of gap. So from 2002 onwards, I joined the Toastmasters movement and started speaking in front of the audience, build my speeches, different kind of projects are there. I don't want to get into the details, but I deliver about 40 speeches in different ways as per the objectives of the speeches, whatever is defined, and which recognized via the Distinguished Toastmaster recognition, which is the highest in Toastmaster International. So that made me into a better speaker, or whenever I meet people, I start a conversation. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. You stand in a corner and just look around people. When you're in a party or somewhere, you don't initiate a conversation.
Especially with being a CA, it is so important, because to network with people, for you to even understand the nature of business as such.
Yes. Because when you interact with people, and especially, since as a CA, interact with the clients, you're able to get more information from them if you have a good communication skill. Otherwise, you don't get the information. They don't want to hide, but they're not able to give you that, share it with you.
So, as someone who has been in the agricultural field, as someone who has been in the IT field, and as someone who has been a Toastmaster, all at the same time.
Right? They were running parallelly.
And eventually you ended up starting your own firm. In 2020. How did that
it was happen? In 2020 March, I remember on 23rd of March, I put down my papers from the IT industry, which I worked earlier.
And that's when COVID was.
24th was a lockdown.
Oh my.
24th was a lockdown. It was because I was getting ready to do something, set up my own office, and then this thing came. But of course, it was a challenge. It was a challenge not only to get over it, and also in the financial challenge, because I was been earning for so many years, and it suddenly stops, and you don't have new opportunities coming in. But it gave me a different thing, because I decided I'm not getting into regular practice. I'm not going to do audit. I'm not going to do any kind of tax filings, nothing. I will give more of consultancies. So I started giving consultancy on finance or business, startups, such things. So more of a knowledge. So I have been part of manufacturing industry for so many, IT industry
Yes.
for so many years. So I use that particular knowledge to help
Run it via
others.
your
Yeah,
practice.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
Very rarely I see chartered accountants. They usually get into tax and audit, which is like
Yes,
the mainstream,
yes,
the
yes.
bread and butter of
Correct,
the
correct.
entire
Yes, yes.
industry.
It is actually not, because it is more of a, now see, today if you think, taxation is taken over by the technology,
Correct.
most of the things.
Yeah.
Only the use of your knowledge is very limited.
Yeah.
Right? And anybody can do it. It is not that you need
Correct.
to have an expert to do that.
Yeah,
Right?
correct.
So, and audits also, most of the things are technology is taken over most of the places. So where do you use? So the knowledge what I gained over the years, I tried to use it in the people,
That's
whom we
nice.
came back. Yeah.
That's nice, sir. So right now you're also running as a director.
Yes. Yeah. I was, because that's also another friend who connected with me after 2 years of practice. He said, we need a finance head for our company. Then some discussions happened and enjoyed them. From 2022, I think I joined them. Yeah.
That's nice.
About
sir.
4 years now. Yeah.
That's nice, sir. So while all of this was happening in your life, right, how was your perspective towards, say, you got into MCA also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then building up the curriculum for the CA students,
Yeah.
started training people a lot more, going on stages and all
Correct.
of it, right? How were you able to balance, first of all, all of that?
The most of the people ask me, how do you manage your time? I said that each of us has 24 hours. Only thing is you
Correct.
need to prioritize, list out and go on doing it. Don't think, what's going to happen. I have a habit of something called a helium hand. Some people say,
Okay.
it's a concept called helium hand. So somebody asks for a volunteer, my hand goes up automatically. Whether
like
I
all
want
the
it or
helium.
not. I
like
know it
how-
or not.
Yeah.
It suddenly moves up.
It just goes up.
And that is one habit which helped me a lot to learn newer things, get into newer areas. Otherwise, I was kind of in a cocoon, and I was not, but still, people put yourself into a cocoon, you don't come out. And I feel you should take the first step. Unless you take the first step, nobody will help you to.
Correct.
Right? And MCS, how did it start? Like, it is again the base of Toastmasters, because it was more of communication and interacting with people and leadership. So at that time, maybe about 20 years ago or so, the Institute of Chartered Accountants started this orientation,
Correct.
GMCS and other things. And in Mangalore, the students started registering for these classes. And we did not have faculties. We got them from Bangalore.
Correct.
So 1 or 2 batches, they came. But again, the costs are high. Their dates are limited. There's a challenge. So one Nanu Malya, and he's a Bangalore-based CA, he said, why can't you develop a team for Mangalore? I thought it's an opportunity. So I gathered a few people.
Your helium hand went up.
My helium hand went up. And I gathered a few people, like-minded people who are getting into, or they want to get into training areas. Few CAs and few non-CAs also. MBAs and other things. And we started this team. They call it the M N Pai team even now.
Okay.
I am really blessed that it is being called that way.
Correct.
And we started that. So 20 years started, and after that, when our ICI was redesigning the curriculum, they invited me to join the team. We were about 8 of us from across India, and we sat together in Delhi for a couple of days, had a couple of meetings, online and other things, and we designed that GMCS curriculum, which is running now as a MCS, the second part of it. So it was a different experience. Again, the helium man went. So whoever wants to come, yes, I am there. Which gave me an exposure to meet and interact with other people, experts. Across India, 8 people, you can imagine, kind of the background, what they have. People were there from PwC and very high positions. I was not that high, I would say. But interacting with them, getting their knowledge, their perspective, helped me a lot to do something more. And it started as a passion, it continues as a passion, because even today, I said 20 years, even people who met me 10, 15 years, they come and talk to me, or they send me a text, sir, how are you? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That's the kind of earnings, I would say.
Correct. It's very nice that, ICI as well, like 20 years ago itself, they did take the initiative because they saw that people
Yes,
were
absolutely.
boxing up charter accountants as serious people
Yes,
and not
yes,
unable to
yes.
communicate. At the end of the day, it is one of the most important aspects.
Exactly. Yeah, as you say, serious people, because I always say, I mean, whenever I address CS, we should start smiling. We always have a serious face. As a CA, we are, stamped as a serious face.
Yeah.
It should not be, because yes, serious, but in your profession. But when you're interacting with people, you should have a smiling face so that you can connect and you're able to communicate better.
Yeah.
We are able to come. If you have a serious face, there's always a block, right? You should have a, pleasing face to connect with the people. And definitely that will give a different growth.
Yeah.
Different growth.
If there was one thing that you could change in your entire career journey, what would it be?
It's a difficult question.
I'm known for asking for difficult questions.
Maybe I could have done these activities on trainings and I think little earlier. Okay. Maybe I would have learned to be a better communicator a little earlier, because I started when I was maybe about nearing 40s, 35 plus. If I had started maybe 25, I would have had another 10 years of my career in this field. That definitely would have made into a different, person myself. Yeah.
That's nice. And if there's any one consulting client that you have been through, any one small journey which you can share across, like how a before and after of that consulting happened.
Yeah. This was for a society in Goa. It's a farmer society. It's a huge society. And they were having a lot of, the supermarkets, about 20 plus of them. And they always had to buy cashews from outside and sell in their counters. So suggested them, why not you have your own factory? So that whole factory consultation I did, basically, setting up the land building, of course, when the building happened, how to design a building, I involved myself, how to buy machines, what kind of machines.
So apart from being a CA, you're also like a manufacturing architect, I would say, because very rarely CAs get into that aspect.
Yes.
As a consultant, you did get into it.
Yes, got into, because I took the whole project as a consultancy on the machines also, what machines he has to buy, what size, what capacity, because we don't want to create a capacity which is beyond their sales possibility.
Yeah.
You have a capacity, plus there is a margin for, increase later when the demand increases. That is how we worked, and it is working very well for them now. It's very well them. And that is what I saw. It is more of, they themselves started producing, because earlier they used to produce it with the job workers. And there was a lot of, financial mismanagement happening, and the society was losing. It is not individual money. It is more of, group money, society's money. So that was one change I could see, and it's a happy project for me.
That project would have given you a boost for other projects
yes. Definitely yes.
So, sir, you invented yourself so many times and reinvented yourself so many times across different roles and aspects. Is there one particular aspect of, throughout your career which has carried through you, like made you be like, okay, no, this is something which I want to take up. This is something which I want to do. Even though you, I know from your journey right now that you do take your time with sitting down with it and analyzing it and probably, contemplating it. But is there something else that has driven you so far?
Building my knowledge on the technology side, whatever technology knowledge, what I have now is because of using it on work. As such, I have not built knowledge from learning side of it.
Correct.
I think I would have, if I had done that, I would have done much better in whatever I did so far. Using the technology in a different way.
In reinventing yourself multiple times across different aspects of your life also, is there any part that you really want to go back and sit down with that M N Pai and say, listen, what you did was good. What you did
could have done better.
You're being too critical on yourself.
Yes. That maybe more on the training part, because what I feel is training I'm doing fairly well. I don't say I'm doing extremely well. I'm fairly well, because I get good feedbacks because every session I take up, I ask for a feedback from the students. At the end of the session, it's more of a, running through a summarization.
Correct.
So when that happens, I get a feedback. So at that time, I feel I could have touched upon certain things because my feedback question is always one thing you liked, one thing I could improve. As a trainer. And most of the students don't come out with that kind of a feedback where I can, because they say you're very good, blah, blah, blah. And you put, I started flying. But some students do tell me, sir, if you had done this, it would have helped me. So at that time, I sit down and see, maybe at the same thing, I use it in my next session. So that has helped me a lot in feedback. Yeah. And because being in the Toastmasters, I told you, I'm ready to take feedbacks.
Correct.
So open for feedback. It is not that because
constructive
criticism. Because most of the times, if I say something, he or she may not take it that way. Yeah. Because if you are into that kind of a mindset, then it helps you a lot. It helps you a lot.
Correct.
Because I did training sessions for professors of university, many of them, about 1,500 professors, on how to be a better mentor for their students. And I must have done about 30-40 sessions at least or more. Every session I had to change my way I was presenting or the concepts I had to work, the activities I use, because I thought some feedback what I got can help me to do better in the next session, and it did.
So I'm going to go a little more deeper over here in this particular question and ask you about, tell me, how have you been mentored? Who has mentored you? And how necessary do you think mentoring is for the current generation also? Because a lot of people nowadays, they're like, oh, I'll be able to manage on my own.
True.
I don't need...
I'm capable of it.
I have videos that I have access to and all of it. So guide me through that.
Yeah. I mean, if I go back to my first mentor, maybe my father, because he was one of the most disciplinarian. Many of them used to refer to him as a military man, that kind of a person. Time, very conscious about the time, the way he, even what he eats, how much he eats, what time he eats, everything is timed. So that I learned from him. And that is one of the things which has built me, because many people have learned time management through me, looking at me. I have a friend who's the top neurosurgeon in Bangalore. He always says, "Amen, you're on time." So I am copying you. Now I am on time. You are late. That kind of things happen. But he was one of the first mentors to me. Of course, my mother, though she did not go to much of schooling, but she always taught me, see, whatever comes your way is need to accept, and you can't keep complaining that I did not have this, I did not have that. Be happy with what you have, content. And my grandmother, I would say, because she was a very young widow, and she used to take me, when I was a child, she used to take me wherever she went, like, where temples, bhajans or whatever, harikathas or whatever you call, where I learned some values of, the real values of life.
Correct.
Because of this moral, very young age. And it has still helped me a lot to how to be integrity, all things we talk about, big words, but I learned them through attending such sessions. From there, maybe quite a few teachers during my, primary schools or high schools and all that journey. Then on Ganesh and I told you my principal, because he was very, very open I mean, he always open to give knowledge. That is what I follow. Even today, somebody asks me for my training material, I just give it off. Many of them don't. They think it is my personal. No, it is nothing is personal. If you give it, the knowledge comes back. Double. That's what I believe, and that's that he taught me. Give out your knowledge, you will learn in return. Then the cashew people, two of them, father and son, Sadananda Prabhu and Giridhar Prabhu, two of them, they gave me a free hand for 25 years I was with them. I could do whatever I want to do in the company. And that's how the company grew to a different level. Then, of course, for CA, when I did Manoharan, he was one of my teachers here, where I learned taxation from initially, attending his tax classes. Then after that, I was in continuous touch with him. That helped me when I was the chairman of the Mangalore branch, because my dream was to get a national conference to Mangalore.
Correct.
And he helped me to do that. And that was the first national conference of chartered accountants in Mangalore, happened in 2003 when I was the chairman. And now the tradition continues in the branch.
Correct.
So, and of course, Manoharan, I used to interact him, not on profession. I mean, never asked him what is this, what is that about the profession, but general mentoring I used to do, and he was very helpful on that. And of course, all the students are my mentors, I would say, because every session or every class you attend, at the end of the session, you will have at least one learning, least one learning, if not more. And that helped me a lot to be a mentor. And mentoring is one of the basic things. See, we have a lot of knowledge in books, videos, now more of videos.
Correct.
But when you sit with a person and chat, talk, the mentoring takes to a different level. And you should have mentors in your life. You should have mentors with whom you can interact. Can be a silly question or any silly doubt, but they know to show you a direction.
Correct.
And that definitely help you. They may not do anything.
Experience obviously counts.
Sorry?
I said the experience
yes, definitely. Because whether he has done that particular, whether he has handled that problem or not, but he has a perspective to look at that problem from a different.
Correct.
You know, the famous dialogue, your 6 can be my 9, you know.
Yeah, correct.
Right? So he looks from the other angle. So he gives, the mentors are very important in your life, and everyone should have mentors. And having mentors, it need not be during your younger age, even later part. You know, age is not a, challenge to have mentors.
Yeah.
It doesn't restrict you. You should have mentors in your life. Then the growth happens multiple times. If without mentors, if you are able to do 1x, with mentors, you will do 10x.
Correct. Yeah. That's nice. So thank you so much. I've had a lovely time chatting with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure too.
Picking your brain in multiple aspects of your life. We're on to our next segment. This is more of a fun segment.
Sure.
Earlier it was called Beyond the Balance Sheet, and now we're calling it Debit or Credit, where I ask you a question and you tell me whether it's debit or credit, and in one word, and probably also just give me a single line of statement as to why it is that.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll try.
All right. Okay. I'm going to use my phone for this segment,
Sure.
so pardon me for that. My first question is, a CA should never spend their whole career in one industry.
Absolutely. Debit.
Okay. And public speaking matters more than a technical skill.
No, technical, what shall I say? It's a debit in the sense communication is required. Even though you are strong in technicals, if you're not able to speak out, then there is no use. It's a bottled up thing, you know.
The best CFOs come from outside of finance.
No, finance, it's a credit, because being a CA, I can't say that. But of course, it is not that even if you have a finance knowledge, you should have other things also. You know? Otherwise, just having the finance will not make you a best CFO.
All right. Another few more questions. A CA who can't explain their work without a jargon.
Yeah, debit. Because we always use big jargons where people just look around.
Yeah, correct.
What is he talking?
Yeah. Choosing your own practice over a corporate salary.
Yeah, because it's a it's a tricky question. It has a debit as well as a credit, because having your own practice, you're your own boss. Nobody asks to you, but where you're in an employment, there is somebody to report to. But of course, it has its own advantages also and minuses or disadvantages
both
also. Both have.
So you're saying more likely an asset
it's
or liability.
Asset as a liability. How you use that is in your hands.
Yeah. AI doing the first work of every statement possible that anyone makes.
AI.
Yeah, AI.
AI these days is not to overuse it, abuse at times. Yeah, because everybody wants to say AI. Even the air conditioner is saying AI. I don't know what AI is there, but still, AI is a knowledge which has to be there so that you look at your work differently, or somebody else to interpret or give you some inputs.
Correct. So you'll say debit or credit in that.
Yeah, AI is debit. AI is required, because I always, even in the sessions, I say, I normally take sessions on employability where I tell them, use AI.
Correct.
But once the output comes, use your GPT.
Okay.
Then validate it.
Okay. Becoming a CFO and never touching a ledger book again.
Becoming a CFO and never touching a ledger book again, it's a liability. Yeah, I mean credit.
Okay.
You should, because unless you know the primary things, you won't be a CFO later. Yeah.
That was my last question, sir.
Okay.
You have been wonderful and patiently answering all my questions. Thank you so much for being on this episode. I've had a joy in asking you and picking your brain on every single aspect of your life. Yeah. And thank you once again, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. Hope I have given some inputs which will help the younger CAs or equally the older CAs too. Because it is more of my own experience what I spoke. It is not from books or anywhere. It is what I did in my life. Hopefully it will be helpful for some of them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.